curious. I'm from America, from Cleveland, Ohio.
It's hard to tell from your Portuguese accent.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Online there's all this upsurge in like anti-Semitism in terms of like the Christian, like who hate the Jews and stuff, like Candace Owens, the Quentas, all these people. Do you think it's a big surge now because of like, we're at the doorsteps of Mashiach and like they have to fight it as much online to kind of go against the Jews, or just that's just how it always was, but now it's more online because we have social media and all that?
So let me reframe that and let me suggest it and see if I can persuade you of this. What I think we're observing, rather, is a complete polarization, that people either love Jews or hate Jews, and there's no one in between.
Right.
You and I know, if we stood on the streets of, in Antwerp, in London, in Manchester, Hashem Yerachim, if we stood there and asked Goyim a question, what do you think about Jews? This is a thought experiment. The only rule in this game is that the person has to tell the emes. So you know and I know that people are going to do one thing. They're going to say something very strong. Either I hate Jews or I love Jews. Look at the United States. Look what's happening.
Right.
October 7th happens, the most horrible thing in any of our lifetime, and in a visceral iteration of anti-Semitism explodes that we never saw since the Holocaust. After the Holocaust, at least they put the Germans on trial. They didn't put Israel on trial. That's an unbelievable thing. So what I'm suggesting is, don't just look at Candace Owens. What I think happened to Candace Owens was, I think everyone is missing this point about her. I don't know her personally,
Right.
but there's a big, big thing.
She worked with Jews, and now all of a sudden she's like...
Everyone missed this, and I don't know why. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only person to say this, but here's the real truth, and everyone missed it. It's like it went by and everyone ignored it.
Right.
Her husband.
Right, super Catholic.
He is from an iteration of Catholicism that rejects the Second Vatican Council. That's very important.
There aren't many British Catholics, right? Aren't they like the Protestant church typically? So
first of all, the rave of people in the United Kingdom are atheists. That's number one. Okay.
Just the Queen, or the King now.
So he's officially the head of the Anglican Church of England. But what really happened there, I saw this coming. Her husband is not Stam a Catholic. I don't remember his name. But he, Dafka, belongs to a version of Catholicism like the Mel Gibson type, where they hold that the last Emesdika Pope, the real last Pope, is Pius XII, Hitler's Pope. They hold that what Pope John XXIII did, convening the Second Vatican Council, and in it, there's one document, it's the shortest document of all, called Nosha Atet, which means in our time, which officially rejects anti-Semitism, and removes the references to the perfidious Jew from the Good Friday liturgy, and says that it's also to be anti-Semite, and the Jews who killed Jesus were Jewish, but they have nothing to do with Jews today. You cannot hold a Jew today responsible for what was done to him, and they were anti-Semites, so they managed to reject it. You know, when he convened the second, he was a nice guy. He was they called him the Papa Bueno. He was a nice Pope, because he was really the reaction to Pius XII. So what happened was the Arab world went crazy when the Second Vatican Council was convened, and then they had this Nostra Aetate, this document. It literally means in our time, which now is saying that Jews are not, they anti-Semitism. The Arab world went nuts, and they fought against it with the Catholic Church, saying, well, how could you put out such a document? So they had to come up with all kinds of compromises, go this way, go that way. And ultimately they came out with the very short document that we have today. So therefore, I don't know her, but I do remember this. Years ago, she used to be a Protestant.
Right.
She was Reformed theology Protestant, kind of like a Calvinist. And I remember when she had her first baby, she had a necklace, gold necklace on it that said Ima. You watch. And I actually commented, I said, look how nice the necklace is. It says Ima when she had her first baby. But at that time, she didn't have the same religion as her husband.
Right.
Her husband is from the Roman Catholicism that rejects this Pope, and all the popes since Pius XII, they hold that this Pope is an apostate. The same thing as Mel Gibson. And so this iteration of Catholicism is very anti-Semitic. Now,
there's some Catholics who like Jews.
Oh, they love Jews,
yeah.
but they hold
after
this.
October 7th, that coworker was like hugging me, like, I'm so sorry.
Sure, but they don't belong to that iteration of Catholicism, and that's what I meant. Now, what happened also is there was no doubt Jewish people that said things to her that they shouldn't have, and there were other things that were going on that I'm not aware of. But no one is just the obvious thing right in front of them. She converts to her husband's Catholicism, and she suddenly expresses all these very unflattering things about Jews. But what we're seeing in the world today is complete polarization. If I ask any of you, you have to tell the truth. What do you think of the Chinese, the most successful race in the world?
Government or the people?
No. If I ask you, Chinese people, 1 out of 3 people on this planet is Chinese, racially. It's a very successful race. I asked you a question, what do you think of Chinese people? So the truth is that you would say to me, I don't know. I don't think any of us have a very strong view of Chinese people. They seem like nice people, hardworking. I don't know. This is the most successful race on the planet, and no one has an opinion. They make good food. I don't know what. What do you think of Japanese? A big country. Japan is a very large country. Huge. What do you think of Japanese? I don't know. They're not bad. I don't know. They're okay. Because the Jews are 1% of the world's population, and the whole world loves and hates us. Now, if you ask people on the streets of Miami, non-Jews, the streets of New York, non-Jews, London, Manchester, Antwerp, what do you think of Jews? They're all going to say, I don't have an opinion. You and I know, it's Shek v'Chazav. They all have an opinion. They either love Israel or hate Israel. And that's what you're encountering. We're living in a time where you have to pick sides. Now we're going to go back to the Torah. What does it say in Genesis chapter 12, in Bereshit Parakid Beis? HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Avraham Avinu, he says, I will bless those who bless you. I will curse those who curse you. In you, all the families of earth will be blessed. Well, that's an interesting bless. It's a very intriguing verse. But I want to zone in on one thing. But what happens to people who just don't have an opinion? Everybody's going to have an opinion. It's just going to be, I hate the Jews or I love the Jews. So there actually is a makor in the Torah. From the Torah's perspective, either they love Jews or they hate Jews. There's no in between. And what happens now is people are choosing sides. The October 7th never happened, revisionists, it never happened. Actually, Israelis did it, the Zionists did it. Are they insane? What, are they insane? The Hamas was bragging. The answer is they just hate Jews. So we're living in a time where, and this is what Torah says, they're either going to love us or hate us, and there's not going to be people who treat us like the Chinese or the Koreans. Korea is two countries in the Korean Peninsula. What do you think of Koreans? I don't know.
I like them.
Fine, I like them too. They're all right. The Chinese, all right. Really, just all right. And you're telling me the truth. They're all right. I like them, right? But if you ask people about Jews, they will never admit it because it's socially unacceptable to be an anti-Semite, right?
Well, less so now, but
you can't say, even David Duke doesn't say, I hate Jews.
There's some people who say it.
Yeah, if you say it, you become a weirdo.
Right.
Means it's true, of course. There are guys like Fuentes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he's a weirdo.
He's got followers. I mean, he's got
No. I'm not saying he doesn't have. Right. Who are his followers? Those who are unwilling to be a shaita and open their mouth. Right. Who won't show their face. Right. So that's the point.
Right.
So right. But in economics, so if you can't say today, I hate Jews, and be socially accepted. You can't do that. She has to say, no, I don't hate Jews, I just those that are alive. That is fine. No, they have to say, I just hate Zionism or Shmayanism and all these kinds of things. They're using Zionism as the way we're doing it. So we see what the Torah says. Now, I'll tell you something very interesting about it. The Torah says a very interesting thing. One on this pasuk in the Torah. The Torah says, I will bless those who bless you. It's the same word, bracha, right? But what are the next words in the pasuk? Umekalelcha, what's the word? Aor. The Torah says, Umekalelcha aor. Whoa, what happened? What does mekalelcha means? Those who curse you, aor, I will curse. But why did the Torah change the word totally? They have to know that biblical Hebrew, Lashon Kodesh, is 8,800 words. It's a very small language. There's not many words. It's not like English, a crazy language with 1 million words. There's less than 9,000 words. And the Torah changes the word, Umekalel ha'or, v'seis. And the Torah, when it talks about blessing, it says, I will bless those who bless you. It's the same word, bracha. It's a berach. It's the same root, same shirish. But when it comes to cursing, the Torah changes it. So it's a very interesting what's going on. Umekalelcha, so the word mekalel means to curse in a conventional sense, to curse. Lemashal, the person who curses God in Leviticus 24, the boy who curses God from Shevet, his mother's from Shevet Dun, who took a mystery, right? So Mekalel in the Torah means mamish to curse. But what does Aor mean? So it means also a kind of curse. It's a different kind of curse. What kind of curse is it? Or means, is the word light in there, or.
Right, or.
So Hashem is saying, you might give up on those who curse you, but I'll never give up. I will shed light on them. I'm not going to give up on the anti-Semitic. And that's why I don't give up on anybody. I don't give up on anyone. I want every person to do tshuva. Some people I really can't stand. Some of these Christians are really chayas and behemoths, they're wicked people. So it's not my job. That's between them and God. My job is to spread Torah. And I hope they'll do tshuva because it's Mekalel Ha'or. But there's not going to be in between. We're never going to be the Japanese or the Koreans or the Chinese. We're never going to be that. That's why. Look at what's going on with Israel. The United States is shipping to Ukraine weapons, Gavaldic weapons. No problem. Take all the weapons. Doesn't say don't bomb civilians, do bomb like this. You should have built like this. No restrictions. Go take as much bombs you want. Bomb and bomb away. No restrictions that it's genocide, shmenocide. No restrictions. Go ahead. Israel, you have to shoot a bullet like this, and it goes through a toilet, comes out the other end, and hits the Hamas guy. And if it hits a sister-in-law, you're fallen. What happened here? You see what's going on. It's all very partial. So what I would posit is, it's not that. What's happening is it's either love or hate. And because we're in Yemaisa Mashiach, we had now October 7th, which happened essentially on Sukkot, which the Gemara in Megillah says that Mechemes Gog Magog begins on Sukkot. The Gemara says for that reason, what is the Haftarah that we read on Chalamoid Sukkot? Davka Yecheskel Perik Labeches Lametes. Davka, because, and that's what happened. And it's very interesting. What was going on there in Israel before October 7th?
The Civil War.
We were fighting. And where was the big crazy fights in Israel? It was in Tel Aviv. And what was happening was a mechitza. They wanted to put up a mechitza so they could daven. This year they're not allowed, they plan not to allow any davening. What was interesting was it was the mechitza that they wanted to put up just for davening in the Rishus Harabim in Tel Aviv. And they go to court. It's a whole thing, and it's craziness, right? Where do we learn out a mechitza in Tanakh? There's a Gemara in Sukkot. There's one place. It comes from Mashiach ben Yosef. In that parak, Zechariah chapter 12, that's Mashiach ben Yosef. V'hebitu elai et asher dakaru. They will look to me because of the one who was killed, and they will mourn over one bird of the first son. And then what does it continue to say? And everyone will mourn over him. The men will mourn, and the women will mourn apart. The men, and the Zakta Gemara, what is it? Ma'adach, that men and women, b'shas hesped, in the time of mourning, can't mourn together. Al achas kama v'kama, men and women can't be misval together when it's not a time of avail, it's not a time of mourning. So it's interesting that it's not a remez, it's beferish. The only time in Tanakh where we're told that men and women are supposed to daven as separate is davka in the pasuk of Mashiach ben Yosef. If you enjoyed this program, please like and subscribe.